People in my town know me as Liam. I run a small, quiet bookstore on Pine Street. It is not a busy place. Some people come in every day, some come once in a while. I like it that way. I like the quiet. But my most important job is not selling books. My real job is being a father. My daughter's name is Sophie. She is 5 years old, and she is my whole world. Everything I do for her. Our life is simple but happy. We live in a little house with a garden full of flowers. Every morning, we have breakfast together. Every night, I read her a story until she falls asleep. I always thought I knew Sophie completely. I knew she loved the color purple. I knew she was afraid of dogs. And I knew she had a kind, honest heart. I trusted her more than anyone in this world. One sunny afternoon, Sophie ran inside from the garden. She was hiding something behind her back. I smiled and said, "What are you hiding, little star?" She did not look at me. Her eyes were on the floor. Slowly, she showed me a small, bright red toy car. It was shiny and new. I had never seen this toy before. We did not have extra money for toys. My stomach tightened. "Sophie, where did you get this car?" I asked softly. Her voice was small and shaking. "I found it," she whispered. I felt something cold in my chest. I did not believe her. Our neighbor's son, Max, had a lot of toys just like this one. I knew I had to teach Sophie a lesson about honesty. I held her hand gently. "Sophie, we must return it. It does not belong to us," I said. She started to cry, but we walked to Max's house together. We returned the toy. Max's mother smiled kindly and said it was okay. That night, I watched Sophie sleep. I told myself it was only a small mistake. But a tiny seed of doubt had been planted in my heart. The next day, that tiny seed grew. Sophie came home again, holding a toy. This time it was a big doll with golden hair and a blue dress. It looked expensive. I felt a sharp cold in my chest. This was not a small mistake anymore. My thoughts were dark. Could my own daughter be stealing? Could she also be lying to me? I held the doll in my hands. Her small hands felt cold. "Sophie," I said, my voice hard now, "tell me the truth. Where did you get this?" Tears ran down her cheeks. "The lady gave it to me," she whispered. I did not believe her. I felt shame and guilt mixed with anger. My mind raced. What would people in the town think? What would they say? "Did you hear about Liam's daughter?" I imagined them whispering. My anger grew. I felt like I was failing as a father. I grabbed her hand firmly. "We are going to her house right now. You will show me this lady," I said. Sophie shook and begged, "No, Daddy. Please, no." But I did not hear her. My anger was too loud. The walk to the neighbor's house was short, but each step felt heavy. I imagined an angry woman opening the door. I imagined everyone watching us from their windows. I knocked loudly. Sophie hid behind me. My hand held hers tightly, but it did not feel like a father holding a daughter. It felt like a policeman holding a suspect. The door opened slowly. Standing there was an old woman I had never seen. Her face was kind, but her eyes were sad and red, as if she had been crying. Before she could speak, my anger came out. I held up the doll. "I am sorry," I said, my voice shaking. "My daughter took this. I promise it will not happen again. I do not understand why she is doing this." The woman looked confused. She gently touched Sophie's hair. "No, dear," she said softly. "She did not steal it." I froze. My heart pounded. My anger left me, replaced by confusion. "What do you mean?" I asked. "I am Margaret," the woman said. "I am Max's grandmother. My grandson moved to another city last week. The house feels very empty. When I see Sophie playing in the garden, it makes my heart happy. Giving her his toys makes them feel loved again. That is all." I could not speak. I felt shame so strong it hurt. I knelt on the floor and hugged Sophie tightly. "I am so sorry," I whispered, tears falling. Margaret invited us inside. Her living room was quiet but full of toys. There was no child to play with them, and it was sad. She showed me a photo of Max. He had the same bright eyes as Sophie. All my anger disappeared. All my guilt poured out. I realized I had accused my daughter without knowing the truth. I had judged her too quickly. We stayed for a while. Margaret gave Sophie a cookie. They smiled at each other. I watched my daughter laugh and play. My heart felt warm. I learned an important lesson that day. Sometimes we fear things that are not real. Sometimes we judge before understanding. I had almost lost trust in my own daughter, but now I understood. Sophie was still the kind, honest child I had always known. From that day, I looked at Sophie differently. I did not see mistakes or lies. I saw curiosity and innocence. I saw a little girl learning about the world. I promised myself I would always trust her first. Life went back to normal, but it felt richer. Breakfast in the garden, stories at night, and quiet walks together, everything felt more precious. We had learned to listen, to trust, and to understand. Sometimes I still think about that day. I think about my fear, my anger, and my guilt. But now I also remember Margaret's kind eyes and Sophie's laughter. Those memories remind me that love and understanding are stronger than fear. Sophie grew up a little more that day. And so did I. We both learned something about honesty, trust, and kindness. And in our little house with the garden full of flowers, our life stayed simple, happy, and full of love. I still run my bookstore on Pine Street. It is quiet and peaceful, but the most important moments are with Sophie. The small moments, her smile, her laughter, her questions, are the moments that matter most. Sometimes I think of all the things we fear about children, about life, and about people. Most of the time, our fears are stories we tell ourselves. Real life is usually kinder. It is slower. It is full of surprises. And most of all, it is full of love. I never forgot that day, when fear almost made me doubt my daughter. I never forgot the heavy feeling in my chest, the coldness, and the guilt. But I also never forgot the warmth that came after, the smiles, the laughter, and the hug that told me everything was okay. Life with Sophie is still simple. Our house is small, the garden is colorful, and our days are quiet. But our hearts are full. And I know now, better than ever, that love and trust are the most important things in the world.